Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, checking your phone, and seeing that you've made money while you were asleep. No meetings, no boss, no late-night emails, just income. It sounds like a dream. But for thousands of business owners, it's just another ordinary morning. Here's the surprising part. Most of them didn't invent the next Facebook. They didn't create a revolutionary app, and they definitely didn't become famous. Instead, they built businesses that most people completely ignore. Businesses people walk past every single day without giving them a second thought. Yet those ordinary businesses quietly generate millions of dollars every single year. So today, if you've ever wondered how ordinary people build extraordinary wealth, you're in the right place. This is Money Decoded. Today, we're counting down 10 boring businesses that quietly make money even while their owners are asleep. Let's begin. When most people hear the word business, they imagine huge investments, hundreds of employees, or years of experience. But the businesses you're about to see today are very different. Some operate 24 hours a day. Some generate recurring income month after month. And some keep making money, even while their owners are asleep. Let's start with number 10. It's 2:17 in the morning. An international airport is almost silent. Most of the restaurants have already closed, and the gift shops have turned off their lights. But near Gate 24, one small machine is still open for business. A tired traveler walks over, taps a card, buys a bottle of water, and walks away. The entire transaction takes less than 30 seconds. No employee, no cashier. No one had to unlock a door. Somewhere, the owner could already be asleep, yet the business has just made another sale. This is the vending machine business. It doesn't make money because it sells expensive products. It makes money because it sells convenience. People don't buy a bottle of water simply because they want one. They buy it because they need it right now. That's why location is everything. Place a vending machine inside a busy airport, hospital, school, or office building, and hundreds of people may walk past it every single day. Companies like Canteen have built successful businesses by operating thousands of vending machines in high-traffic locations across North America. Instead of depending on a few large sales, they earn money from thousands of small purchases. One customer, one drink, one snack, again and again. Of course, this business isn't completely passive. Machines need to be restocked. They need maintenance. And choosing the right location can make all the difference. But once the system is in place, it can continue generating income long after the owner has gone home. Here's what Money Decoded wants you to notice. The smartest businesses don't always solve big problems. Sometimes they solve small problems for thousands of people every single day. And that's exactly how ordinary businesses quietly build extraordinary wealth. But selling snacks and drinks is only the beginning. What if people paid you every single month for something they hardly ever used? Let's decode our next business. At number 9, imagine moving into a new home. The furniture is in place. The kitchen is organized. Everything feels perfect until you open the last few boxes. Old photo albums, holiday decorations, extra furniture. Things you don't use every day, but can't bring yourself to throw away. So where do they go? For millions of people, the answer is simple. A self-storage unit. From the outside, it looks like nothing more than a row of locked doors. But behind every one of those doors is a customer paying monthly rent. And here's what makes this business so powerful. Many people rent a storage unit for months. Some keep them for years. Once their belongings are inside, moving everything out takes time, effort, and money. So instead, they simply keep paying month after month. That's the power of recurring income. Companies like Public Storage have built billion-dollar businesses around one surprisingly simple idea. renting empty space. They're not selling expensive products. They're not inventing new technology. They're simply providing a safe place for people to store the things they don't have room for. Of course, this business isn't completely passive. The property needs security. The buildings require maintenance. And location plays a huge role in long-term success. But in growing cities where people move frequently, or where small businesses need extra storage space, demand remains surprisingly consistent. Here's what Money Decoded wants you to notice. Owning more things isn't always the path to building wealth. Sometimes the real opportunity comes from owning the space where other people store theirs. While customers come and go, their monthly payments often continue for months, sometimes even years, creating a steady stream of recurring income. But what if there were a business that required even less space, even less maintenance, and almost no employees at all? A business where people willingly pay for something that costs almost nothing to produce, especially on the hottest days of the year. Imagine a machine quietly standing outside a gas station, beside a convenience store, or on a busy street corner, turning nothing more than frozen water into profit 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Let's decode business number 8.
It's the middle of July, and the temperature is climbing past 100 degrees. A father is loading coolers into the back of his truck before heading to the lake with his family. On the way, he pulls over beside a small white machine and taps his card. A few seconds later, a fresh bag of ice drops into his hands. No cashier, no convenience store, no waiting in line. Just fresh ice, available 24 hours a day. It may not sound like an exciting business, but that's exactly why it works. People don't buy ice because they want to. They buy it because they need it. Whether it's a family barbecue, a camping trip, a fishing weekend, or a day at the beach, the demand is always there. Companies like Twice the Ice have built successful businesses around automated ice vending machines that operate day and night. The machine makes the ice, stores the ice, and sells the ice, all with very little human involvement. Of course, this business isn't completely passive. The equipment needs maintenance, the water supply must be monitored. And success depends heavily on choosing the right location. A machine placed near campgrounds, marinas, gas stations, or busy travel routes can attract customers every single day. Let's decode the business model. Every customer buys a simple product, but hundreds of small sales can quietly turn into consistent income, day after day, month after month. Here's what Money Decoded wants you to notice. The smartest businesses don't always create new demand. Sometimes they simply make everyday purchases faster, easier, and more convenient. That's often enough to build a business that keeps making money, even while you're asleep. But selling ice isn't the only business that can run with minimal staff. Some businesses can serve hundreds of customers every day using the very same equipment. Let's decode our next business. Number 7.
It's a Saturday morning. A line of cars slowly moves toward a tunnel-shaped building. One by one, each driver pays at a touchscreen. The gate opens. The car rolls forward. Jets of water spray from every direction. Massive brushes begin to spin. Powerful dryers finish the job. Less than 5 minutes later, one customer leaves, and the next one rolls in, again and again, all day long. That's what makes this business so interesting. It isn't selling cars, it's keeping them clean. People may delay buying a new car, but they still want the one they own to look its best. Rain, dust, mud, bird droppings. Cars get dirty every single week, and every dirty car is another potential customer. Companies like Mr. Car Wash have built successful businesses by serving thousands of customers every day through automated systems. Many locations also offer unlimited monthly memberships. Customers pay one monthly fee and can wash their cars as often as they like. That creates recurring income for the business, even when some members don't visit. Of course, this business isn't completely hands-free. The equipment needs regular maintenance. Water and electricity costs must be carefully managed, and choosing the right location is critical. A busy road with thousands of passing vehicles can make all the difference. Let's decode the automatic car wash business model. Every wash takes only a few minutes, but the same equipment can serve customer after customer, hour after hour, day after day. One system, hundreds of transactions, consistent cash flow. Here's what Money Decoded wants you to notice. Some of the smartest businesses don't work harder, they work smarter by building systems that serve more customers with less effort. That's how simple operations can quietly become highly profitable businesses. But what if the business didn't even need expensive machines? What if people were willing to pay simply to leave something behind for a few hours? Let's decode our next business. Number 6. It's Monday morning. Downtown is already alive. Office workers are rushing to work, tourists are exploring the city, shoppers are searching for a place to park. One by one, cars enter a parking lot. A ticket is printed, the barrier lifts. Another parking space is taken. By lunchtime, hundreds of vehicles have come and gone. The surprising part? The business hasn't sold a single product. It hasn't served a meal. It hasn't delivered a package. It's simply charging people for something they can't take with them, a place to leave their car. That's what makes parking lots such a fascinating business. In busy cities, space is limited, and when something becomes limited, it becomes valuable. Companies like SP Plus Corporation have built successful businesses by managing parking facilities across airports, hospitals, office buildings, and city centers. Every time a driver enters, a parking fee is collected every hour, every day, week after week. Of course, not every parking lot is profitable. Location is everything. A parking lot beside a busy hospital or business district may stay full all day. One in the wrong location may sit almost empty. Security, maintenance, and efficient payment systems also play an important role. Let's decode the parking lot business model. This business isn't selling land, it's selling time. Every parked car represents a few hours of paid access. One customer leaves, another customer arrives. The same parking space generates income again and again. Here's what Money Decoded wants you to notice. Some of the best businesses don't create something new. They simply find a smarter way to monetize something they already own. In this case, a piece of land becomes a steady stream of income. What if that same piece of land could make money without a single car ever parking on it? Let's decode our next business. We've reached the top 5. You're driving to work on a busy highway. Your eyes stay on the road. But without even trying, a giant billboard catches your attention. A new smartphone, a fast food restaurant, a luxury car, a streaming service. 5 seconds later, you've already forgotten the drive, but you still remember the advertisement. That's the power of a billboard. Most people see a large sign beside the road. The owner sees something completely different, a piece of real estate that can be rented again and again. Every single day, thousands of people drive past the same location. Advertisers aren't paying for the metal frame. They're paying for attention. And in today's world, attention is one of the most valuable assets a business can buy. Companies like Lamar Advertising have built billion-dollar businesses by owning and operating thousands of billboards across highways, cities, and commercial districts. One advertiser rents the space, then another, while the billboard itself never moves. Of course, not every billboard is profitable. A sign hidden behind trees or placed on a quiet road won't attract many advertisers. The best locations are where traffic is heavy, visibility is clear, and businesses compete for exposure. Let's decode the billboard advertising business model. The billboard isn't the real product. Attention is. The more people who see the advertisement, the more valuable that space becomes. One structure, multiple advertisers. Recurring rental income. Here's what Money Decoded wants you to notice. Some of the smartest businesses don't sell products. They sell access. Access to customers, access to visibility, access to attention. Because once you own attention, other businesses are willing to pay for it. But what if businesses weren't paying to advertise? What if they were paying every month simply to place their equipment on your property? Let's decode our next business. Coming in at number 4. It's almost midnight. A small convenience store is one of the few places still open. A customer walks in, picks up a few snacks, and heads to the checkout. Then suddenly, he realizes he only has a bank card. He walks over to a machine in the corner, inserts his card, enters his PIN. A few seconds later, cash slides out. He pays for his purchase and walks away. The entire transaction takes less than a minute. But here's what most people never think about. Every time someone uses that ATM, someone earns a fee, not from selling money, but from providing convenient access to it. That's what makes the ATM business so interesting. The machine isn't creating cash, it's creating convenience. People are willing to pay a small fee because getting cash immediately is often easier than searching for another ATM. That's why you'll find ATMs in convenience stores, gas stations, shopping centers, hotels, airports, and entertainment venues. Companies like Cartronics have built large ATM networks by placing machines in busy, high-traffic locations. Each transaction generates only a small fee, but hundreds of transactions across hundreds of machines can quietly become a very reliable business. Of course, this business isn't completely passive. The machines must be stocked with cash. Regular maintenance is essential, security is critical, and success depends heavily on finding locations where people actually need quick access to cash. Let's decode the ATM business model. Every withdrawal generates a small transaction fee. One transaction isn't exciting, but thousands of small transactions across multiple machines create recurring cash flow. It's another example of how consistency often beats complexity. Here's what Money Decoded wants you to notice. Some businesses don't become successful because they make a huge profit from one customer. They become successful because they earn a small amount from thousands of customers over and over again. That's how ordinary businesses quietly build extraordinary wealth. But what if businesses weren't paying for transactions at all? What if they paid you every single month just to use a small piece of your land? Let's decode our next business. We've reached the top 3. At number 3, it's the end of summer. A family returns home after spending the weekend at the lake. Their boat carried them through a perfect vacation. But now, a new problem begins. Where do they keep it? It won't fit inside the garage. Parking it on the street isn't practical, and leaving it outside for months can damage it. The same challenge faces RV owners. These vehicles are perfect for adventure, but once the trip is over, they need a safe place to stay. That's where an unexpected business steps in. RV and boat storage. At first glance, it looks like nothing more than a large fenced property. Rows of boats, campers, motorhomes, sitting quietly, doing absolutely nothing. But behind those gates, every parking space is generating income, month after month. Whether the owner takes the boat out every weekend or only once a year, the storage bill usually keeps coming. That's what makes this business surprisingly reliable. Companies like Extra Space Storage have expanded beyond traditional storage units by offering dedicated parking spaces for RVs, boats, and other large vehicles at selected locations. They're not selling vehicles. They're not selling fuel. They're selling peace of mind. A secure place to protect valuable assets. Of course, success depends on the right location. Areas near lakes, coastal towns, and regions where RV travel is popular usually see much stronger demand. Security, lighting, easy access, and enough space for large vehicles can make all the difference. Let's decode the RV and boat storage business model. The business doesn't earn money when people travel. It earns money while those vehicles are standing completely still. Every occupied parking space becomes another source of recurring monthly income. Here's what Money Decoded wants you to notice. Some of the best businesses don't profit from movement. They profit from storage, because sometimes people aren't paying you to use something. They're paying you to protect it. But what if a small piece of land could generate income without storing vehicles, without selling products, and without serving customers? Let's decode our next business. Only 2 businesses remain. At number 2, imagine owning a piece of land, not a shopping mall, not a hotel, not even a parking lot, just an ordinary piece of land that most people would completely overlook. Then one day, a telecommunications company contacts you. They don't want to buy your property. They only want to lease a small corner of it, just enough space to build a cell tower. At first, it doesn't sound like a life-changing opportunity. It's only one tower. It only occupies a tiny part of your land. But here's what makes this business extraordinary. Once the tower is built, it usually stays there for years. Mobile networks depend on reliable coverage, and relocating a tower is both expensive and complicated. That's why telecom companies often sign long-term lease agreements. Every phone call, every text message, every video you stream, every GPS route you follow depends on thousands of cell towers working quietly in the background. Companies like American Tower have built billion-dollar businesses by owning and leasing tower infrastructure to wireless carriers around the world. In many locations, more than one telecom company can install equipment on the same tower. One tower, multiple tenants, multiple streams of rental income. Of course, not every piece of land qualifies. The location has to meet engineering requirements. Population density matters, signal coverage matters, and local regulations always play an important role. Let's decode the cell tower leasing business model. The landowner isn't selling mobile service, they're leasing a small piece of real estate. The telecom company pays for access, month after month, year after year, because keeping the tower exactly where it is usually makes more business sense than moving it somewhere else. Here's what Money Decoded wants you to notice. Some of the most valuable assets aren't the biggest. Sometimes a small piece of land, used in the right way, can quietly generate income for years. That's the difference between simply owning land and understanding how land creates wealth. And finally, our number one business. It's 7:30 on a Sunday morning. While most of the neighborhood is still asleep, the lights inside a small laundromat are already on. A young couple walks in carrying 2 baskets of laundry. An elderly man quietly folds freshly washed towels. A college student starts a washing machine before heading back to campus. None of them know each other. None of them came for entertainment. They all came for one simple reason: clean clothes. It's one of those needs that never disappears. Fashion changes, technology changes, the economy changes, but people will always need clean clothes. That's why laundromats have remained one of the most dependable businesses for decades. They're not built around trends. They're built around a need that returns week after week. Every washing machine starts another paid cycle. Every dryer starts another one. Hour after hour, day after day. The machines keep working, even when the owner isn't there. Modern laundromats have evolved far beyond self-service washing. Many now offer wash and fold services, detergent vending machines, snack and drink vending, mobile payments, and even pickup and delivery in some cities. Instead of relying on one source of income, they create several. Companies like Speed Queen Laundry have helped modernize laundromats with smart equipment, digital payments, and membership programs. Of course, this business isn't completely passive. The equipment is expensive. Utility costs can be significant. Regular maintenance is essential, and choosing the right neighborhood can determine whether the business succeeds or struggles. Let's decode the laundromat business model. Every customer pays to wash. Most customers also pay to dry. The same machines serve hundreds, sometimes thousands, of customers over their lifetime. One investment. Thousands of transactions, years of recurring income. Here's what Money Decoded wants you to notice. The most successful businesses aren't always the newest, and they certainly aren't always the most exciting. They're the businesses that solve ordinary problems for ordinary people every single day. That's exactly how ordinary businesses quietly build extraordinary wealth. If there's one lesson from today's countdown, it's this. Wealth isn't always built by chasing the next big idea. More often, it's built by owning systems that quietly solve everyday problems. A vending machine, a storage unit, a car wash, a parking lot, a billboard, an ATM, a cell tower, or even a simple laundromat. None of them sound glamorous, but together they reveal a pattern. The people who build lasting wealth don't always work more. They often own assets that continue working long after they've gone home. That's what we've been decoding today. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to Money Decoded for more stories about how money really works. See you in the next one.